fact, Danny Ainge said as much. This is a legacy defined by championships beyond the big three, that's the real big three, but go all the way back to the Bill Russell era and all the great teams through the history of the Celtics.
You may have seen that outstanding interview Michelle Tafoya did with the big three, and talking to those guys about the legacy that the Russell teams, the Bird teams left. Looking up at the banners, I think it was Paul Pierce who said, they don't put up a banner for winning a division in Boston. You got to win a title to get a banner. And that's what these three guys, all in their 30s, all veterans, want. All right, we are underway without shot clocks, and we'll see how this works out. Again, as Rick mentioned, the PA announcer will count down, theoretically, and now Bennett Salvatore is going to stop it because he didn't hear anybody counting. It shouldn't be this difficult.
Well, you think about how many times in that first half the Atlanta Hawks shot the basketball in the first 7 seconds. They'd like to not even have to worry about the 24-second clock.
As Rick said, what the officials apparently want is the PA announcer to say 15, then 10, and then 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. And we went past 15 without Bennett hearing anything, so he put a stop to the proceedings again. And also, apparently, the shot clock may have gone off. We didn't hear, but may have gone off in the middle of the possession. All right, it'll be Atlanta ball with an undetermined number of seconds left on the shot clock. We'll try to keep you posted on this as best we can. There's 10. Is that a 10 we heard? Bibby wide open. Buries the three. A much better night for Mike Bibby than the first two games up in Boston.
Well, he took a ration of heat from the Boston Celtics fans for calling them bandwagon jumpers. Right. He doesn't have to listen to it tonight.
Rondo driving on Bibby. Perkins is fouled by Smith.
Well, he just cleared space on the weak side.
Number 2 on Smith. Perkins to the line. Mike Woodson feeling pretty good about what his team accomplished this year as they increased their number of wins again. Got to the playoffs for the first time in the Mike Woodson regime, 4 years. A young, athletic nucleus getting better, but slowly, whereas Boston, which was as poorly off last year as Atlanta was, went out. Danny Ainge, who you saw moments ago, went out and made the 2 blockbuster deals, and all of a sudden they go from 24 to 66 wins.
Yeah, in fact, in the springtime, Mike Woodson and Doc Rivers, both of their daughters play volleyball. They actually ran into each other in Florida and sort of discussed a little bit about how hard it is trying to win in this league with young teams. Well, I'll tell you what, Doc Rivers, and he's going to be Coach of the Year. He's got a great shot along with Byron Scott. He didn't become a better coach. He's got better players.
Joe Johnson being chased around by Allen and Perkins. Less than 10 on the shot clock now. Marvin Williams with 5 left to shoot. Doesn't get the bounce. Ronda, another rebound. You mentioned Ronda, one of the best rebounding guards in the league.
A terrific defense again by Boston. Let's see how many shots here in the third period are contested jump shots for the Hawks.
Garnett open in the corner. And an impressive rebound by Al Horford. Horford, a guy that a lot of people feel should win Rookie of the Year, even though Kevin Durant had bigger numbers. Jumper knocked down by Marvin Williams.
He has handled that question about the franchise passing on Chris Paul and Deron Williams beautifully. He's a guy who needs repetitions and experience, Marvin Williams.
Double team on Garnett. Allen has it stripped. It'll be Boston ball. 7 on the shot clock. And again, we'll just relay to you whatever we may be able to hear from the PA announcer. The shot clock at one end of the court not working, so they disable the other one. And we're relying on the PA announcer. Garnett. Perkins working hard, and Garnett cashes in.
That is twice here in the first couple of minutes of the third period that Kendrick Perkins' willingness to move his body and get position on the offensive glass has helped his team get points. Look at Kendrick Perkins clearing space. He never stops moving his feet. That allows Kevin Garnett to step right into the open area and get an easy opportunity. And
Perkins, a guy who understands perfectly on this team, his job is to do the dirty work.
Yes.
And he's accepted that, and he's doing a good job of it. As Garnett gives the Celtics a 2-point lead. Atlanta led by as many as 9 in the first half.
And look at Rajon Rondo. Just extend, make Mike Bibby work coming up the floor. It takes time off that shot clock, which obviously is a problem as it is.
Forgive me, now tied at 61 between Boston and Atlanta. The kick from Johnson off to Bibby. He fumbled away a chance to get a shot off, forces it up, and the follow by Marvin Williams. He took off and started running. He was about 20 feet away from the basket when that shot went up, and he timed it beautifully. Garnett. Rebound Atlanta. Perkins grimacing and laboring, coming back down on D. Johnson into the paint and a foul. Number 2 on Ray Allen.
A couple of possessions ago, Rajon Rondo helping and recovering, forcing a tough shot, but there is Marvin Williams. Well, he does not have to be the focal point, so he can use that athleticism to attack the rim from 15 feet. Hard to check a guy out moving at that pace.
A complimentary guy who averaged almost 15 points per game this year. You're looking at the leading scorer for the Hawks on the season. Joe Johnson at better than 21 per game. Getting a lot more involved offensively tonight than he did back in game 2. He's up to 15 on the night, and Atlanta is back up by 4.
Yeah, you know, in fact, Doc Rivers told us this morning that he thought they might try to post Joe Johnson up just to make things a little bit easier. That time he elected to take Ray Allen off the dribble.
Pierce behind a Garnett screen. The 3 for Paul Pierce.
We have seen some solid screens set by Boston in the half court. They execute beautifully on both ends of the floor.
Pierce having a good night despite that hard fall in game 2. Now Horford misses the 17-footer. Garnett skies for the rebound. Pierce one-on-one, the bump from Marvin Williams. And again, that's about the 3rd time tonight we've seen Pierce just force his defender to slide to move, and he lowers the shoulder and draws the foul.
He is a master at drawing contact, Paul Pierce.
3rd on Williams, 3rd on the team.
Think back to when he and Antoine Walker were on the team together and they were getting into playoff series. They would do that a ton. Both guys very good at getting to the free throw line.
Good solid screen there by Perkins to try to free Ray Allen up. Again, no shot clock. It's at 10 as the PA announcer relays it verbally. Garnett the miss. Horford another rebound. Averaged almost 10 rebounds per game during the season. He's got 8 already tonight.
Working hard for post position, too.
Having to work against a bigger defender in Perkins. And a push is called against the Celtics. Al Horford's effort right there. Appreciated by the crowd.
Worked for post position. He's got a nuance about his game, that ability to face up, bang bodies. He's got the body, he's got the mindset. Doc is upset with the call.
Don't bail him out, buddy.
Thinks it was an offensive foul.
Number 3 on Perkins. Horford had 20 points and 10 rebounds in game 1. Against the team that had the best record in the league during the season. In his rookie season, his first ever playoff game, 20 and 10. Not bad, and something very few players have done in recent years in their first ever playoff game. Pretty good group that Al Horford has become a part of.
Oh, my goodness. And again, remember, this is a guy who's playing out of position at the center spot. He's more of a power forward.
But hasn't griped about it, has done whatever Mike Woodson has asked him to do. As you said in the first half, Coach Woodson said the most amazing thing, he never hit the wall. Despite going from, say, a 30-35 game season up to 82, never hit the wall. Perkins on the feed from Pierce.
Tell you what, Paul Pierce had the least amount of points at the half of the Big Three, 11, but he had 5 assists. Gets another one there.
Tied again. Horford off to Marvin Williams, knocked away, Boston ball. Pierce measures the three. And the rebound down to Joe Johnson. Let's see if the Hawks can get Josh Smith untracked. He was a force in the first quarter, not much since. Johnson the pull-up. In and out. Horford the rebound. Blocked.
He made that harder than it had to be, Dan. He had a strong side layup. He could have simply gone back up. I'm not sure why he elected to use the dribble to get to the weak side of that.
Offensive rebound, a big key at times tonight for Atlanta. That's been one of their advantages on the Celtics.
Yeah, Josh Smith has not been effective here in the second half because the Celtics are shutting down the transition opportunities.
There he goes.
Wow.
Oh, man.
That is a big-time move, and that is what he does. You can give him a cushion. It doesn't seem to matter. His handle is tight enough at this point to get by guys. 17
now for Smith. Garnett. Double team on the baseline. Open is Rondo, and Bibby got a piece. Garnett fouled by Horford.
Well, Josh Smith is just figuring out how to play. He is still young. Early in his career, it was his athleticism and his instincts. The handle is tighter now. His ability to adjust in the air. He is hyper-athletic. I'm telling you, my favorite player on the team to watch is Josh Smith.
And again, a package of skills and athleticism that few, if any, can match in this league. Third foul on Horford sends Garnett to the line. Celtics have been very good at the line tonight, 19 out of 21. Well, Garnett is one non-stop conversation during the basketball game.
And it's not simply in the games. This is something he does in practice. I mean, his intensity level always seems to be high. Doc will tell you, from the moment they step on the bus, this guy is ready and raring to go.
Knocks him down. And we are tied again. This time it's 68. Childress in off the bench for Atlanta.
Look at that pressure on the ball by Ronda. He's relentless.
Horford again, a one-on-one with Perkins. 10 seconds. Jump hook. Yes.
Wow. That is a man's move right there. That does not look like the body or the patience that you'd see from a rookie.
Horford with 4 assists in addition to his 9-point, 9-rebound night. Atlanta back on top midway through the third. The Celtics up 2-0 in the series, winning easily in both games in Boston. Game 4 Monday night back here at Phillips Arena. What a rebound by Garnett. Perkins blocked by Childress. Smith. The Hawks by 4, the fans on their feet. Ray Allen. Great position by Horford to keep Perkins away from the rebound. Bibby for 3. Garnett the rebound. This place was ready to explode. Pierce trying to shake Childress. Atlanta getting all the 50-50 balls right now. Smith. Horford.
So the last couple possessions, Doc's going to use a timeout because all of a sudden they're giving up transition opportunities again. It's been triggered by the Atlanta defense.
Well, he's calm on the inside, but he can't be happy with the way things have turned on the Celtics in the last couple of minutes.
Well, it started with the block shot. Unselfish pass, but Childress' length gets him going. And then Josh Smith, who had been quiet. How about that finish in transition? We see it, Josh Smith. The react from Josh Smith and the crowd.
As a Phillips Arena mark has been at times here tonight, especially during this recent 6-0 run by Atlanta to reclaim the lead. Up 6 on the Celtics. 4:51 to go in the third. Atlanta down 2-0 in the series. There's really been great energy in this building from the moment the game began. Here's a nice feed inside. Perkins misses.
That's several easy opportunities that the Celtics have not been able to convert on.
And overall, they have missed their last 7 shots.
And it looks like they're going to go through Al Horford, the rookie.
Joe Johnson for 3.
So smart. You work the 2-man game with the 2 players who have been very good options for you all season long. Maybe a little bit surprising that Al Horford has been as consistently good as he has been.
You know, Doris, even though this is the Hawks' first time in the playoffs in 9 years, the biggest sports story in Atlanta today was who would the Falcons take? 3rd overall, by the way, as you saw on ESPN. They took Matt Ryan, the quarterback at Boston College. But as big a story as that is, if the Hawks can win this game, they might share the front page with the Falcons tomorrow.
Yeah, in fact, not only the NFL draft, but also the fact that the Atlanta Braves are playing the Mets. But you're right, this would finally get and maybe captivate the imagination of Atlanta sports fans.
In the first 2 games, the Hawks led for a grand total of 1 minute and 29 seconds. They have led for a good portion tonight by as many as 9. They have just matched their largest lead, but Garnett steps to the line for Boston and cuts into that. 25 already for KG. Sam Cassell chilling, waiting for his opportunity here in the second half.
Says he needs just 8 minutes a half. I wonder if he checks in shortly because they have struggled a little bit on the offensive end.
Well, he got 8 minutes and 15 seconds in the first half, so he reached his quota. 2 more for Garnett. Atlanta by 7. Horford working hard. And the rebound down to Glenn Davis, who was a physical factor in the first half. Didn't play a whole lot, 7 minutes, didn't score, but had 3 rebounds and 3 personal fouls. Not to mention flattening Ray Allen inadvertently. James Posey. And an offensive foul.
That was an easy one. Posey went baseline. It took a little time to develop, and Smith had plenty of time to step in. And the longer the pace, the longer the pace stays like this, so the more to Boston's advantage it is.
Atlanta's really been able to run in spurts tonight. They have to find a way to score in the half court, which can be difficult for them. Under 10 on the shot clock as the PA announcer keeps us posted. Good ball movement. Did it touch Horford? It did not, says Violet Palmer. She will keep it with the Hawks with 4 seconds on the shot clock. And Mike Woodson wants a timeout. Doc Rivers had a feeling his team would see a much feistier bunch of Hawks tonight than they saw in the first 2 games, and he was bang on. More NBA action as we check out the calendar now. ABC's got a doubleheader tomorrow beginning at 12:30 Eastern Time. The Cavs and Wizards from Washington. Cleveland up 2-1. The Spurs will try to finish off the Suns in Phoenix at 3:30 Eastern tomorrow on ABC. A doubleheader tomorrow night on TNT. Pistons and Sixers. Philly at home and up 2-1. And then the Hornets and Mavericks with New Orleans leading 2-1. And then NBA TV Monday night. Toronto at Orlando. The Magic up 3-1 on the Raptors. Back to Atlanta after this. Well, it's amazing how Williams and Boozer are running the same stuff that Stockton and Malone ran, and just about as effectively. Meanwhile, Doc Rivers getting on his players in the last huddle.
We got to play our defense, and we got to get tough and physical. Come on, guys. If you want to do what you say you want to do, then you got to do it together, and you got to do it physical. And you got to do it like a team and team rules.
Doc Rivers not taking anything for granted. He expected a battle tonight from the Atlanta Hawks, and his Celtics are sure getting one. Atlanta by 7 late in the third. 4 on the shot clock. Horford knocks it down.
Okay, so that's 23 assists on 27 baskets. That puts the Atlanta Hawks over 50% shooting. They're 7 for 11 from three-point territory, 63%. That is why that wired was so important. Doc Rivers is upset with what they've done on the defensive end of the floor, and rightly so.
An 11-2 run right now for the Hawks. Pierce trying to back down his man. Garnett the extra pass.
4-3.
Rondo. Ho-ho. Josh Smith all over that.
Now you can see why the guy was the fastest to 300, the youngest guy. Look at the length and the timing. Twice on the pipes by Josh Smith. Now Horford going to go dust it off. I love it.
And it has been ruled a shot clock violation. Remember, the shot clocks aren't working. So they're doing it manually with a stopwatch, and the PA announcer is counting it down. And Bennett Salvatore has ruled it's a shot clock violation. The PA announcer will go 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. We have headsets on. We can't hear everything. I thought I heard 3 and then maybe 2 as Ronda was going to the basket. The ball was blocked and eventually bounced out of bounds. And in the eyes of the officials, it took a couple of seconds to get out of bounds. That's why it was a violation. There you see the PA announcer in the top left. He'll call out 15, 10, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Horford. And Boston ball after the miss.
How hard do you think it is with all the noise in this arena for players to hear that?
Yeah. They're so conditioned to just looking at the clock above the rim.
2 minutes.
Last 2 minutes of the third. Under 10 on the shot clock. The busy PA announcer. Ronda. Pierce.
3.
The Celtics have now missed 9 shots in a row.
And you know what? I've been given a ton of credit, there's the PA announcer, to the Celtics defense. How about the Hawks' effort on the defensive end for stretches in this third period? They are contesting shots. They're keeping the dribble drive in front of them. And even if a driver gets by, there's been excellent rotation.
Number 3 on Garnett as the lead mounts for the Hawks and the frustration starts to mount for the Celtics. Sam Cassell into the game.
Well, Sam's mindset has been to score when he checks in. They could use some scoring right now.
They've gone better than 6 minutes without a field goal. Bibby a miss. What a rebound by Johnson. And a fresh 24 for the Hawks. Pierce gambled, didn't get it.
Look at Paul Pierce work on the defensive end of the floor. He couldn't expend that kind of energy in the pass. He had too much work to do offensively.
Now sharing the load.
10 seconds.
Johnson. Under 10 on the shot clock. Horford. Back to Johnson for 3. They're running some much better half-court offense tonight than they did in the first 2 games.
Oh, he asked Mike Woodson, if you do not score in that first 7 seconds, you don't get early offense. He said, I said, what do you need? It was 3, 4 passes, player movement, good spacing, solid screening. He's had all of that.
Largest lead of the night for the Atlanta Hawks. It was tied at halftime. Garnett double team.
5.
Posey from the corner.
3.
Another Celtics miss. Like the Pistons last night, a huge drought. The Celtics have now missed their last 10 shots.
Well, that time, double team came for the Atlanta Hawks. So that means you've got to rotate out of it. Dan, they did that, contested shots, and look at what they have done on the offensive end. All of that movement translating to good shot opportunities and a high percentage.
Horford gets a huge ovation as he goes out. Zaza Pachulia back in for the first time this half. Into the final minute of the third quarter, Atlanta by a dozen. Here comes Allen off the screen. Bibby giving chase.
10 seconds.
10 on the shot clock. Glenn Davis over Josh Smith. Nicely done by the big fella.
That sure is. That's somebody who's got a little bit of girth advantage, and he gets enough space because of his strength to get Josh Smith. Because Josh Smith was as stretched out as he could be to challenge that shot.
Bibby. Pachulia is fouled. Davis to the deck. That's his 4th.
For all but the best players, Kobe LeBron, who can make incredible shots under tremendous defensive pressure, shooting percentage is always a reflection of the quality of shots you're getting. There's only one reason Atlanta has shot it so well. They've been terrific for stretches in transition, and in their half court they've had much better execution.
24 assists on 28 field goals is a remarkable ratio.
No question, especially against a team that builds its defense philosophically from the inside out, which Boston does.
Pachulia makes the first. Solomon Jones back into the game for Atlanta, and Mario West makes his first appearance as Rondo returns for Boston. West, an interesting story. A guy who walked on at Georgia Tech here in Atlanta, eventually earned a scholarship. Played very well for 4 years, got an invite to the Summer League, got an invite to training camp. Wasn't drafted, but eventually signed by Atlanta, and good for him. Here he is on the court in an NBA playoff.
A product of terrific coaching in college by Paul Hewitt at Georgia Tech. But you're right, a guy who really should give hopes to anybody who's not the most skilled player. You're willing to work and lay it on the line every day, you get a shot.
Rondo, it will count at the end of the quarter. Doc Rivers likes that, but he can't like much else about the third quarter. Atlanta dominating and turning a tie game in the half into a 10-point lead going to the fourth. The Celtics lead the series 2-0, but Atlanta's playing great. Josh Smith doing what he does best. Hawks by 10.
I'm with Coach Woodson. The pace has slowed, which should favor Boston, and yet you guys have a 10-point lead after 3 quarters. Who and what do we credit for that?
Well, our defense has been pretty solid. I mean, we're not giving up a bunch of layups tonight, and we're guarding the perimeter guys pretty well. And we're getting our stops, and we've been able to get out and get some easy transition buckets ourselves.
Now, you're working without a shot clock. Normally, you would want to milk that clock in the fourth quarter. How are you going to deal with that, not knowing exactly what the 24-second clock is?
We can still see it above us. On both ends, at the very top, you can see the shot clock as you're coming down. So we got to keep an eye on it and just pay attention to what the scorekeepers are when they're counting it out for us.
All right. Good luck down the stretch.
Right, thank you.
That has been a little bit confusing for both teams to deal with the lack of a shot clock. If you weren't with us, what happened is this. The basket to our right, the shot clock was not working to start the second half. So they disabled the one that was working, and the PA announcer is counting down the seconds at 10, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
10 seconds.
There it goes, right on cue. Joe Johnson, tough fadeaway. Wow.
Big-time shot. Sam Cassell had a hand up, was close enough to contest the shot.
23 for Johnson. He leads the Hawks. Kevin Garnett leads all scorers with 26. Garnett and Pierce on the bench right now. Ray Allen misses a shot. Rebound Smith. Almost turned it over. And Johnson will pull it out. We have a 3-second call against Atlanta on Zaza Pachulia.
Now, we're not seeing in the arena what exactly Mike Woodson was talking about. He was referencing somewhere in the building where you could see a 24-second clock. We don't see it anywhere.
Right now, he's more concerned about why Zaza Pachulia was caught in the lane for 3 seconds. Can't afford any careless turnovers. 12-point lead Atlanta. Celtics lead the series 2-0. Game 4 Monday night here. A foul on Joe Johnson. The Utah-Houston game is coming up after us here on ESPN. The tip is at 10:50 Eastern, so about 18 minutes from now. The Rockets and Jazz from Utah, with Houston trying to even up the series at 2 apiece as Garnett checks back in for P.J. Brown.
Well, if they are able to even it up, their chances of winning go up drastically, winning the series. I mean, the winner of Game 5 goes on when series are tied 83% of the time, so that'd be huge.
Ray Allen with the lay-in, but it's an offensive foul. Number 3 on Allen.
Well, Rick Bucher was told by Mike Woodson, I talked about it in the third period, their defense was pretty good. Rotation? Where's the foul then? Well, that particular angle, I'm not seeing. Exactly what the call was.
Yeah, what we heard from the PA announcer was it was the third on Allen. Bibby off to Pachulia, and he throws it out of bounds. Another careless turnover by the Hawks.
And
The 10th of the game.
Yeah, Violet Palmer's right in front of us, and she's talking to Ray Allen, basically saying his leg came up, and that's why the offensive foul was called.
Allen continues to argue a little bit as he gets back up the floor. Garnett. Allen for three. And Childress might have gotten a finger on that. Allen doesn't airball many, and it had kind of a funny rotation on the way down. Johnson right into the double team. Smith for three. They are lights out from beyond the arc. 9 out of 13. And Smith's only 25% on the season. He's got 2 threes tonight.
Game 2, they had missed all 5 of their three-point attempts. Looks like Josh Smith, when he gets his offense going in transition, that jump shot starts to come off his fingertips a little bit easier.
Early in the fourth, Atlanta with a double-digit lead on the number 1 seed, the Boston Celtics. Under 10 on the shot clock. Childress. Johnson. And the rebound comes down to Glenn Davis. Again, whenever Davis is around, the Atlanta Hawks seems to wind up sitting down on the court. Or getting thrown down to the court. Sam Cassell misses a shot. Josh Childress has lost a shoe, literally. Can't even find it. Now he sees it, and he's going to try to get the shoe back on. Timeout Atlanta.
Shot selection for the Celtics has not been very good. Doc Rivers talked about this in the first 2 games. 2 jump shot happy. We've seen Ray Allen take 2 and Sam Cassell take 1 in the early part of that shot clock.
Fans on their feet. Atlanta by 13. They got to go back. Game 4 tonight. The Jazz up 2 games to 1 on the Rockets. That game tipping off just over 10 minutes from now. We are early in the 4th quarter here at Atlanta, and look at this. The Hawks are up 13 on the Celtics.
10 seconds.
And Bibby, a much better night tonight here in Game 3. Misses the jumper. Rebound, Cassell. And the Celtics turn to Sam I Am for a little instant offense off the bench. Ray Allen from the baseline. Garnett with the offensive rebound. Allen's had some good looks that normally he makes.
It looks at times like they're trying to get everything back quickly.
Cassell steps in. Posey for 3. Got it. Great ball movement on that possession.
Yeah, see, you don't mind jump shots as long as maybe there's an entry pass into the post first and it moves. It reverses sides of the floor. And look at the kind of shot they got because they were patient.
The lead down to 10. The chant is "Let's go Hawks" here in Atlanta. There are a lot of Celtic fans here. They were locally. They were worried there might be like a 50-50 split, but definitely more Hawk fans than Celtic fans in the building. Shot clock under 10. Again being counted down verbally by the PA announcer. 2 on the shot clock. Childress got it up on the rim. Give him credit for that, and then landed a soft landing perhaps on Big Baby. Cassell and Garnett, 2-man game and a turnover. 3 on 2. Smith.
James Posey frustrated. He made the terrific stop on the prior possession on Johnson, but a turnover in the open floor. Anytime a point guard turns it over the middle of the floor, when you've got athletes like Atlanta has, that's going to be an easy and then often spectacular finish.
Josh Smith with ridiculous hops. 11 out of 15, 24 points tonight. At least 5 dunks, 5 we can think of.
And Doc Rivers was upset at that shot by Sam Cassell. He was disgusted in his reaction.
Smith for 3. Well, the young man from Atlanta is having the night of his life in his first ever playoff game in front of the hometown fans. 15-point lead for the Hawks. Josh Smith is the man of the hour.
Watch this guy get out in transition. The length, the explosion, the emphatic finish. How many dunks have we seen him have? He's either hit threes or he's made dunks. And the Atlanta Hawks, the young Atlanta Hawks, know they're close to perhaps their first playoff win.
Good job by Stoudemire and Jones, and a great job tonight by the Atlanta Hawks. They are giving their fans something to roar about. Meanwhile, the Celtic fans who probably came here confident, cocky, best team in the league, up 2 games to none. Josh Smith and the Hawks have taken it to the Celtics tonight.
Look at this. 4 of the 5 starters. Look at the assist numbers, how unselfishly, how well they've moved the basketball. And I'll tell you this. I love the where amazing happens promotions in the NBA. Josh Smith needs to be in a highlight reel for where amazing happens.
Meanwhile, the shot clocks have come back to life.
I think it was the last dunk by Josh Smith triggered. It was a earthquake.
It shook it back to life, huh? So now the PA announcer can just concentrate on this. I mean, that's what he's here for.
And look at this.
All riled up.
Yeah, look at the crowd. It is alive in here. The NBA playoffs, I'm telling you, the level of intensity when you walk in a building in the NBA playoffs is almost something palpable. You could reach out and touch it, Dan.
The first playoff game at home for the Atlanta Hawks in 9 years. It was the longest drought of any NBA team without making the postseason until the Hawks got in this season. Cassell a miss. Horford another rebound. Al Horford tonight has a dozen rebounds.
I would guess that Sam Cassell is going to check out of this basketball game on the next stoppage of play, because that's a couple of shots where I think Doc Rivers maybe wanted something else.
The Hawks will be patient, up 15. This matches their largest lead of the night, but there is still a ton of time left. 2 on the shot clock. 1, Johnson. And a 24-second violation. Kind of a fine line between wanting to use some clock but getting away from what's made you successful offensively over the last several minutes.
Yeah, and then Sam Cassell does check out. Doc Rivers gets Rajon Rondo up off the bench quickly after that. And his team, Doc's team, number 1, they led the NBA in 3-point field goal percentage defense. The Hawks tonight, 10 for 14.
Including 3 for Josh Smith.
Yeah, well, if he makes
a season high.
I think if he makes them, then you got to just concede that.
25% of the season from 3 out of 5 tonight. Only made 3 in 1 game during the regular season. Posey for 3. Down to 12. It's still a lot of time. Yeah. Just at the midway point of the 4th.
Plenty of time, and you don't have to get it all back in one shot. Good patience again by the Celtics. Seems like when the ball reverses sides for the Celts, they get good shots.
Johnson turns the corner on Garnett, takes a bump, gets it blocked by Garnett, and it'll be Boston ball. Back-to-back empty trips by the Hawks.
Yeah, Kevin Garnett. The defense needs to step up right now, and look at this. Block shots, 2 guys in perfect position to contest. Kevin Garnett gives up on nothing. His length, unbelievable.
Hard to believe it's the first time that Garnett won NBA Defensive Player of the Year. The big 3 all in the game right now for Boston, along with Rondo and Posey. Rondo trying to penetrate. Shot clock at 7. Deep jumper from the corner for Rajon Rondo. A long 2, and the Atlanta lead is down to 10.
So now you put a little pressure on the young team to continue to score points and execute. Let's see how they react here.
And this is where a veteran like Bibby has to play well down the stretch with him. He's had a good game. Boy, this crowd has been alive. Give the Atlanta crowd a 10 out of 10 for their enthusiasm tonight. Smith again. Air ball. 3 consecutive empty trips.
A contested 3 with 2 seconds on the shot clock.
Rondo trying to post.
Wow, offensive foul. He did. He used that weak hand. You got to be careful here. Bennett Salvatore is showing remarkable restraint because Rondo's in his face. Watch the weak hand. He's going to use that weak hand to just clear out Mike Bibby, and then he goes chest to chest.
And Bibby had asked for the foul the first time Rondo did it. Rondo loses the argument. 4:40 to go in the fourth. Atlanta leading Boston by 10 with a timeout on the floor. The Celtics up 2-0 in this best-of-7 first-round series. A great effort to this point by the Hawks. Can they execute offensively, get enough buckets, knock down some free throws, and manage to get their first win in the series? Something most people, Doris, frankly, thought they wouldn't do. I think most people looked at this as a 4-0.
Yeah, I don't think there's any question. This was their best chance for a win. 25 home wins. And look at this. It had been such a mighty struggle on the offensive end to go from 38% both game 1 and game 2 to 47% tonight.
But their last 3 trips, a 24-second violation, a block by Garnett with about 2 on the shot clock, and then Boston took over, and then an air ball 3 by Smith with the shot clock running out. They basically have not gotten anything on their last 3 possessions.
Well, and what has happened? The possessions have slowed now. They're having to execute in the quarter court.
You can see the Rockets and Jazz are just about ready to get going. That's the next game here on ESPN tonight. Under 4.5 to go here in Atlanta. The Hawks leading the Celtics by 10. Bibby scoops it up and in. 10 points, 8 assists for Bibby.
Well, you would think the 2 guys with the most experience in the playoffs for this team, as you said, Bibby and Johnson, they've got to be the ones to make plays. Take this game over.
Knocked away and saved by Smith. What a play.
See, I'm not sure why Johnson didn't want to push the pace there. That was a terrific defensive play. They had numbers.
Again, taking the ball out of Bibby's hands at times in the half-court set. Johnson doing a lot of the handling. Smith, 3 to shoot. Johnson wide open. But just as precious, a fresh 24 for Atlanta.
The 12th offensive rebound by Atlanta.
Knocks it down. Mike Bibby with some big plays. Mike's sister Charlesy watching the game here tonight. Remember, married to Eddie House of the Celtics, but clearly on that possession cheering for her brother's team over her husband's team as the Celtics get a good bounce.
Boy, how did that shot go in? Looked like it had no opportunity. But how about Bibby, who's taken so much heat? Opened his mouth about the Boston fans. Didn't back it up when he got to the Beantown. But in this game, he has been big time.
And Atlanta has maintained this lead after 3 empty trips. Mike Bibby with a couple of good possessions for Atlanta. They're up by 12. How in the world did this go in for Rondo? Right off the top of the backboard and in. Talk about your English. But Bibby and the Hawks up 12, less than 3 minutes away from their first win of the series. We're back here in Atlanta. The Hawks are up 12 on the Boston Celtics with 2:47 to go in the fourth quarter as we take a look now at our GMC game track.
Josh Smith, last March and April, he averaged 20 and 21 points. This is a guy who's starting to figure it out. He always had the athleticism, the instincts. Now with repetition, he has been special tonight. KG, 28 and 9. Will it be for naught? Extraordinary three-point shooting by the Atlanta Hawks. 59% against the best defensive team in the league in terms of both field goal percentage D and guarding the 3. What a night.
Mike Bibby, a much better night than he had in the first 2 games of this series. 12 points, 8 assists, only 2 turnovers. Right now being guarded by his brother-in-law, Eddie House, as House has come in to take over for Rondo. House, a very good shooter. And again, House is married to Bibby's sister. Bibby's son and House's son were playing basketball before the game today. Pierce had it. Garnett's got it. Boston needs some quick scores. Posey for 3. Horford, what a great job keeping Allen on his back. Al Horford with his 14th rebound of the night.
Well, the substitution for House gives him another three-point shooter, another deep threat. on the floor for Boston. Now you're managing clock if you're Mike Bibby, and he seems to want every shot down the stretch.
Inside to Horford again. Outstanding ball movement. 28 assists on 35 field goals.
You watched the Atlanta Hawks play in the first 2 games. I couldn't figure out what it was they were trying to do on the offensive end of the floor when they had to execute. Their movement has been exceptional.
Garnett. And it goes. Tough shot by Kevin Garnett.
Trying to be as efficient as possible if you're Boston. Every possession. You'll take 2s, but they've got to be early 2s.
Atlanta, again, the clock is their ally, using as much as they can before they take a shot.
And you see this so much, just screen and roll. That time Horford slips.
Johnson. Childress keeps it alive, but here come the Celtics. Still a 12-point deficit, just a minute 20 to go. Pierce. And it's a 3, down to 9, but time running out quickly on Boston.
Setting Bibby in a screen and roll. He's managing the clock. And they're not panicking under duress of the shot clock as this thing gets low.
Bibby. Childress again keeps it alive, but only momentarily. House waiting for help. Under a minute to go. Boston down by 9. Garnett makes it a 7-point game. An angry Mike Woodson on the Atlanta sideline.
Well, the Celtics start to foul. Looks like Posey's trying to get one there. 7-0 run by Boston, and again, they're doing it. Looks like they were trying to foul. No call. Good spacing by Atlanta.
Now playing keep away. Don't foul now with 5 on the shot clock. Horford.
Ooh, and he's yapping at Paul Pierce. Al Horford has something to say, and Pierce is looking down there, walking toward Atlanta's bench. Pierce is hot.
Brian Scalabrine doing a good job going to get Pierce and usher him back to the Boston side of the floor.
You should have seen
bunch of Atlanta Hawks.
Yeah, you should have seen the reaction of Horford. Pierce was on the ground, and Horford started yapping at him.
They are underway at Energy Solutions Arena in Salt Lake City. We will take you there as soon as this one is over. Here in Atlanta, it had been 9 years since the Hawks had hosted a playoff game. The young studs, Josh Smith and Al Horford, both played great tonight. Mike Bibby played much better. And a capacity crowd here in Phillips Arena. It apparently was worth the wait. The Hawks are on their way to a win. 22 seconds to go. They are just underway in Salt Lake City. And we're going to take you there as soon as this game is over. Game 4 in that series with the Jazz beating the Rockets 2-1 with the road team having won all 3 games so far in the series. Let's take another look at what you were talking about, Doris, that yapping between Al Horford and Paul Pierce.
Yeah, Pierce tried to gamble and steal. Now he's kind of down on the ground, and Horford looks like he's heading back. I'm not sure what he's saying, but he's yapping. I'll tell you what.
They should have gotten a technical for that.
Yes, that's a little bit of taunting. And Pierce might get 40 the next game. You do not. I marvel when people, try to upset Kobe Bryant or LeBron James or even Paul Pierce. These guys are extraordinarily gifted offensive players. Do not make them angry. He is hot. You can see it on his face.
Good restraint and a good job by Scalabrine, too, to keep Pierce from getting into trouble. Boston ball. A lob for Garnett. Misses, and that's going to be all as the Celtics will call off the Dogs. The Atlanta Hawks will celebrate a win over the number 1 seed, 102-93. And Atlanta's into the win column, still trailing 2-1 in the best of 7. They will host Game 4 here on Monday night. Huge night for Josh Smith. A very good night for Joe Johnson. Mike Bibby played well. Al Horford played well. The young Hawks had a big night against the veteran Celtics and beat Boston 102-93. A 2-1 lead now for the Celtics in the series.